Góðan daginn! I am starting to feel like summer has arrived here in Iceland, so we actually have 11 degrees centigrade right now, and I'm so happy. Like, it's actually getting warm, meaning that I have to I'm gonna have to like tidy up my wardrobe and actually like put my summer clothes where I can find them. So that's another job. Hey. But yeah, so that is not what this podcast is about, though. It's not about my wardrobe, it's about knitting and crocheting and about yarn. Yeah, so, hello and welcome to the Project Pal. My name is Gunnhildur. I'm an Icelander, live in Iceland, and on this podcast I really like to talk about knitting, about crocheting, yarn, anything else fiber related, and, you know, fiber thingies that we do. I talk about what I'm working on, what I finished, what my plans are with knitting and crocheting, all that, and what I'm thinking about, like tenacious plans, like what I might work on. And yeah. I do also talk quite a bit about the weather because the weather affects everything. And talking about the weather, listen, this past week I have had 3 working days off. Monday was off because it was the second day of Whitsun, and so here in Iceland that's a red day, meaning that I, as a full-time employee, I got a day off. So I worked Tuesday, Wednesday, and then because I had time in my minute bank, because now in Iceland we have this really interesting thing. I think I like it because basically for every hour that I work, I get 9 minutes in a minute bank, meaning I work that time, so now I have earned time off. So last year, I kind of lost those minutes because, you know, they have a life year. You have a year to use up your minutes, which is fair. But the problem was that in where I work, that we had 2 people who had to take time off because of, you know, sick leave, and one of whom is just recently just returned. Like, she had to stay at home for like 6 months, and she was going a little bit crazy at the end. She's now allowed to work like half the day, and it's a lot better for her, but she's still like and the other one, she also had a surgery, and then she just, unfortunately, there's a lot that happened in her family life this year, so she also had to take quite a bit of time off, meaning that we had substitutes. I'm not taking time off when there's substitutes. Then there was Christmas, and then there was, you know, months after that, and then suddenly I didn't have those minutes anymore. But we talked to, because, you know, it was me and another co-worker. So we just, you know, we had a little chit chat with our company, and the company said, okay, well, those are really unusual times, so just talk with your immediate boss and take some time off. It was really weird because, yeah, so I took, you know, Thursday and Friday off, and I'm not gonna lie, I felt like I was just skipping school or something. It's really weird taking time off because this is not vacation. Okay, I still have my 6 weeks vacation left that I'm gonna take, you know, later part this summer, like around halfway through July, I reckon. So that will be half of July and August. That will be my time off. This is completely different. So I took 2 days, as I said, and I felt so weird because, you know, usually when you take time off, that's because, you know, you're sick or there's something that comes up. Like, there's usually a reason for it. And taking time off simply because I have the right to, it just felt so weird. But I'm really happy that I did, because Thursday turned out to be such a good just drying day. So we had sun, and for to begin with, the day was rather calm. So I actually washed my finished objects, my knitted and crocheted finished objects, and did the delicate washing, and then I put them on a drying rack out on balconies to just dry naturally. And unfortunately the weather, we got a little bit of wind, easterly winds coming in the later part of the day, and here that means easterly winds are cold because they come straight off the open ocean, so it got chilly, meaning that the laundry stopped drying as well. But we have a dryer, so I simply dried everything as much as it could outside and then chucked it in the dryer for a little bit to finish drying, meaning that we got all the niceness from drying naturally, and the nice just fresh smell of the fresh air, and all of these, like, these are all made from ice yarns. I just realized. Well, heaven knows, I have a lot of yarn from ice yarns. And honestly, like my fantasias, I already love fantasia, and I am now doubly sad that fantasia isn't being produced anymore, but because this, I already loved this yarn. It was so nice to work with. When we were done washing and drying, this is so soft. I didn't think this could get any better, and then it turned around and did. I cannot wait to just properly use them. My crochet cardigan, cocoon cardigan, is down here. So yes, but because I ended up the drying by chucking them into the dryer, that meant that listen, I'm gonna show you a little something. So usually with a dryer lint, I throw it away because it's it's better for the compost rather than anything else. I kept some of it this time just because I was absolutely fascinated with it. So particularly with the Fantasia, because it's a wool blend. I cannot believe I was actually gonna show you, but the lint that I got, look at it. Like okay, so it's not clean. Like there's fluffy bits that honestly, a little bit disturbing, like these bits. But this is so soft, and I showed it to my mother, and she is actually I'm gonna go a little bit into Icelandic history. So my father was born in 1930 and my mother is born in 1943. So my father, he was born in a torfbær. I honestly don't know what you call it in English, but basically it's the if you see pictures from Iceland, you might see the nicer versions. They are the traditional just howls that the Icelandic nation dwelled in for millennia. Because, Iceland doesn't really have a lot of trees or stone or anything that you can actually work with to make houses, so my ancestors simply just made the houses out of the ground that we walk on. This is, very romantic, very picturesque. If ever you've been into one of those houses that are around, I mean, if ever you have visited Iceland, if you ever are going to visit Iceland, I'm going off a tangent, I'm sorry. I would recommend that if you have the opportunity to visit a historical museum that has a torfbær, like Laufás, which is in Eyjafjörður. It's in northern Iceland, where there is these town called Akureyri. In that same fjord is an old whatchamacallit, you know, with church, with where the priests used to stay. I do believe. Yeah. It's one of the nicer ones, which is why it's still standing. So if you ever have opportunity to visit a Torfberg, I do recommend it. And remember, if you ever do, these are the nice ones. If you go in on a nice warm summer day and everyone's just wearing like shorts and tank tops and just it's nice and warm and nice, you go inside and you just, it's like walking into a freezer on the warmest possible day in a very, very warm area. It's like walking into a freezer. And, you know, it just makes you really, really happy. But I am extremely thankful for the fact that I am born in 1984, meaning that I have only ever known houses that don't leak, with walls made out of, I think they're made out of wood or something. You know, concrete and wood, meaning that I've never known walls that are made out of soil, meaning that the water comes through, trickles through, and especially in the winter time when apparently they would form a puddle on the you know, just the mud floor and freeze. So my mother had to make sure just to try and not fall indoors. Where was I going with this? But yeah, so I have no idea. Why did I start talking about Torfberg? Probably because one of the first things. Why did I go from that tangent? I don't know. Can someone remind me? Anyway, so I had to show my mother this lint because it's just like, it's wool. It's like, just like when you're walking around and where there's sheep, like they're gonna shed some little bit of wool, and you know, picking those up, and this just feels a lot like it. Why did I go from a tangent? Anyway, a little bit of Icelandic history. But she talked about, like with this, back in her day, they would have, you know, picked this up and then respun it. I'm not gonna do that because, you know, it's itty bitty. I'm probably gonna like try and clean it up a little bit and then use it as like filter if ever I make something like a little figure amigurumi, I think it's called. But it, yeah, isn't it a little bit funny when, you know, you get something little, just something like this, and you just start going off about Icelandic building history, like, anyway. I'm probably gonna do that for the next couple of times as well, because, you know, I've been thinking quite a lot about like family history and just how thankful I am for central heating. Not gonna lie, I am so thankful. Don't you just love going off on a tangent and then you just stop and realize I have no idea what I was talking about? Oh well. So, yeah, I told you about the wonderful opportunity I finally got to wash my finished objects. So, listen, I've been waiting for the opportunity to just have this day to like have a little bit of sun, smallest bit of wind, just to, you know, like dry my finer objects. It smells like sun. So, you know, like this that I made out of my, was it mohair cake or angora cake? Anyway, absolutely gorgeous color. This is my cobweb shawl that I made based off of a pattern from one of the calendars. I can't remember whether it was the knitting calendar of 1990. What? Not that far. 2018 or 19, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, it is based off a pattern, really simple one, but can't remember what it is. So yeah, this one that I made, finally managed to just wash it and dry it. So now it is just perfect. It did make me want to find the other cake because, you know, with ice yarns there were two. With this, there are 2 cakes to a pack, so I have another cake of this, and I kind of want to make another big shawl because this is fun. Like, you have this really fine type of yarn, and then you knit it on rather big needles. So I need to rediscover that pattern and the other cake and make another one. So, as for making stuff, I was, you know, I wasn't very productive this week though. Like, I had 3 extra days off and I'm just like somewhere. I only made a single round on my rider shawl. Like, I just did this part. That's it. That's all I worked on this shawl. Like, but it's getting there. I mean, a little bit is still a little bit. I cannot wait to see how these colors are gonna turn out in this shawl. It's gonna be so cool. I'm actually really I am rather impressed with, like, the fact that I've only made one big mistake that I had to, like, pull back so far. I think it's going to turn out really nice. Yes. And as for the other shawl that I've been working on, I managed to do a little bit more with that. Put you to the side, my darling. And that is the wish shawl. Because, you know, I didn't want to be thinking this week, so I didn't. And this pattern is just perfect for when you just want to just knit and get something pretty, but not think too much. Like, the most difficult thing is to remember to do the increases, which is, you know, there's 4 every knitted round, and it's just literally just yarn on or yarn over, and then there's just, you know, a round of purling back, and always in the beginning that's just always a straight stitch. So, oh, I think it's called garter stitch in English, I think. Yeah, did manage a couple of rows, I think, about this. I did finish the it's a little bit more. Doesn't matter. I did a little bit. I did manage to finally finish the ball that I was on, so now I'm on the 4th out of 5 balls. Yet again, if you ever find this yarn, Rainbow Line from Smile, if you ever find this yarn in this colorway or any other, I have to recommend it, because so far I think that out of the 4 balls that I've finished, I think I've only found like 1 or 2 knots. And honestly, I'm really quite impressed by that. Like, and some other yarns, there's a lot more of knots, so I am low-key rather impressed. Also, it's coming along. Like, if you're putting this up in percentages, that means that I'm just over 60% done with this shawl. It's gonna be like, I love this, also this type of like stripy type of yarn, the color chains, because it is so, the stripes turn out so uneven. They just turn out however they turn out, and I am low-key loving it. I am finally just over a sex, haha, excuse me everyone speaking English. That was just me saying 6 in Icelandic. Yeah, just over 60% done. So yay! The next, I do have a video ready of a yarn haul. I'm probably gonna post it like Wednesday or something. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've been spamming videos quite a bit this past days, or just in May. So I'm gonna hold on that video, but a little bit of preview. One of the first shawls that I'm gonna start working on is going to be this, in this colorway. It is made with Diablo glitter from Hobby. This is in a whole video that I'm probably gonna post it on Wednesday. So, and this is gonna be a crochet, and I'm also gonna link that pattern down below. It's also from Hobby. That is, I'm really excited about that shawl because it's not complicated. Like, it's not difficult. The most complicated thing is going to be the color change. So I am excited about that. Also, the colors are just so pretty. I do have a crochet hook ready, so all I need to do is finish either one of those two. I'm trying to have some self-control. So yeah, that is up next. I've also updated my, look, there you go, my project list. So my plan list with knitting and crocheting. I have not put everything in this book. Like, some of these shawls I have not put in because that would have just been honestly rather repeating in the book. But I have put in upcoming patterns to work on. I have all the yarn that I'm going to be working with, which is kind of the point with that book, is that I'm trying to be organized when it comes to my yarn, to just stay on point with it. I just realized what I'm missing from that book. I'm missing putting in the rider shawl. So there's that. I need to put that in, but I am trying my best to stay organized with this sometimes a bit of a challenge. Alright, so there's another thing I wanted to have a little bit of chat about. So I was on Shein yet again because there's always something fun there. Like, some of the clothes there I'm just low-key in love with. But so I do this thing. I do go on like clothing website like Shein, because Shein has a lot of clothes, or everything £5, or ASOS or something like that. But Shein somehow is more fun, probably because of the varieties that they do have. Also, the webpage is really easy. Anyway, so I have seen some clothing items that I am really rather fond of. Maybe in different colorways, or whatever. But yeah, so knitted, knitted or crochet clothing that a lot of web pages have. I say crochet within quotation marks because sometimes you look at the crochet items and you're like, no, that is not crochet. Even a complete novice like myself can see that. That's like, no, I don't know what that is, but that is not crochet. But yeah, a lot of the items, they do look, I almost said good or nice, but a lot of them look passable. Some of them do look scrumptious. Like, I am low-key in love with this sweater. Probably because of the colors. But again, knitwear, and if you're watching this podcast, you probably are interested in yarn and knitting and crocheting. So I am low-key, as I said, in love with this sweater because I absolutely I love the colors. There's also a blue version, which is really, really nice, but I do like this like tie-dye version better. I love lantern sleeves. I need to learn how to make those. That's the only thing. Anything else with this sweater, I'm like, I could make that. Because if we look at the construction, it is ridiculously simple. I mean, the most complicated thing would be making the lantern sleeves, and that's not complicated. The body itself, I mean, yes, we do have the rib at the bottom, but the body itself is basically just a, you know, rectangle. That's simple enough. It is not a like a tight knitting, so it's a little bit airier, meaning that you have the yarn, you go like a size up in knitting needles, and you pretty much have this. Maybe start with like smaller knitting needles to do the ribbing, and then switch to bigger knitting needles to do the body. And another problem is that I have yarn that I can use to make this, my version of this sweater. Ice yarns because so I've had this for quite a while. This is Angora design in pastel colors. I'm gonna try and remember to link to the ice yarn page, and crossing fingers you managed to get any, because for the last months they've been sold out, every single colorway. But these are the same colors as in the shredder. And here's the good part. This sweater is made 100% acrylic. This is, excuse you, 20% Angora, 20% wool, and 60% acrylic. And I do know that from the reviews from this sweater, people are talking about how soft it is. Okay, this yarn has a bit of a chemical smell, but that will go away with, you know, working with it and, you know, washing and drying. Drying in the sun. But again, this yarn, I have it. And these are pretty much the same colors as in the sweater. So here is the knitter's dilemma. Here is a commercial item that I am extremely fond of. But I have the yarn, I have the instruments to make it, I can make time, and the construction of this item is not complicated. So also my yarn is better. Like, I am by no means a yarn snob, but I have bought and worn lovely items such as this sweater, and just speaking from experience with this, like this type of commercial acrylic, yes, it can be soft, but a lot of really nice items that I have, for example, gotten for myself, there's been this like smell, there has been like the clothing item itself has been like a little bit stiff, and it makes a noise that just thinking about it makes my teeth itch. And excuse me. And way too often, like, people say it's soft, okay, we do have different definitions of what soft is, because then often you have to wash the item a couple of times to get it to the softness that you like, but they only have like a certain amount of just lifetime before they start like fraying or falling apart or just, I don't know, disintegrating. So yes, I want this sweater, I am absolutely in love with it, but I have this. So it's safe to say that I have another project to make soon, hopefully, because this is not complicated. This is not complicated. So yes, I'm just adding to my project pile. So yeah, that is me this week. I have done the laundry because there was sun outside on Thursday. Today is Saturday. We have a little bit of sun today, but mostly it's just windy and it's warm, but it's windy and it's from the east, meaning from the sea, meaning it's not really warm. And I'm complaining because it's warm. But it's not snowing. It's been raining, but it's not snowing. So yeah. And I did manage a little bit of knitting, a little bit of crocheting, and now I am possessed with the thought of remaking my own version of a Shein sweater because I love the colors, but I don't like the I think it's the commercialism I don't quite like. But yes, that has been me this week. Hopefully you are fine. Hopefully you are good, and I will see you next time. Bless, bless.